Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of James Bond Bitcoin Live. 102? Maybe I got that wrong. Let me see here. No, it should be 103. So, anyways, I guess I'll fix that later. It's 103. Hashtag Quantum Leap. Yes, Quantum Leap. Goodness. Anyways, let me go over the notes section real quick. Let's see what's going on here today. As usual, I have the can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview on CrushTheStreet. If you hadn't already watched that video, go ahead and watch it again anyway. I say a lot of interesting things. So, and you know, I say it with all sincerity. So don't take too much offense to if I say anything that might, something that you didn't like, but if I say it, I mean it. A link underneath that is collecting your free Bitcoin gold with Coinomi. Should take you to the support desk of Coinomi. Gives you step-by-step directions on how to split your Bitcoin gold from your Bitcoin if you had Bitcoins on your Coinomi wallet. They give you other directions and how to if you didn't. So anyways, after that is how to split Bitcoin gold, BTG 01. That is the video that I made, and it basically shows you step by step on how to do it. If for any reason you didn't want to read the directions. So it would help if you already had Bitcoins at the time of the snapshot on October 24th to split your Bitcoin gold. And then I have a link to Bitcoin Gold. So one hard fork, actually technically two hard forks. You know, Bitcoin Cash was a hard fork, Bitcoin Gold is a hard fork. And then we have all these other potential hard forks. So Bitcoin Silver, and then It's Time to Stop meme. I love that meme. I'm going to keep it there because really it is time to stop. It is time to stop with these forks. Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Uranium, and I added two additional links here because apparently there's going to be some more hard forks. BitcoinCashPlus. Yes, I said BitcoinCashPlus. It sounds a little deceptive. BitcoinCashPlus, you think you need to buy Bitcoin Cash, but no, that's not the case. You actually just need to hold on to your regular Bitcoins, and you'll get a fork of Bitcoin Cash Plus, and it'll be Equihash, of course. And then there's BitcoinClashic. That's right, I said BitcoinClashic. And again, a little deceptive. You think you need some Bitcoin Cash. No, you do not need Bitcoin Cash. You really need Bitcoin, and then the BitcoinClashic is going to hard fork, and then you'll get your BitcoinClashic coins. And anyways, again, it's a fork, and I think they're going to switch over to Equihash on this one as well. I'll go over the links if I have some time. I'll go over them during the show, but it's in there for you if you want to check it out on your own time. And speaking of free coins and free airdrops, I have a list of airdrops. So if you love airdrops and you love receiving free money from the sky, there's a link for you. It's called cryptocree.com/airdrop. It updates every day. I haven't been there for a while, but it's for those people who love getting free money falling from the sky. I have SegWit Charts. I have a link to that. Maybe I'll go over it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll forget. I went over it last time, and I think it was around 10%. I have a link to CoinCodex. So if you're tired of using CoinMarketCap.com because you're tired of looking at all those BitConnect ads, well, thank goodness there's more listing platforms out there, and some of them are really good. CoinCodex is one of them. LivecoinWatch is another one. I really like that one the most because it really gives you good live feeds. You don't have to refresh all the time to get an updated price. CoinGecko is another one. I like that just to get an idea of developer involvement and community involvement. That's going to make a big difference on how much you really, really want to invest in these coins that are coming out, or these altcoins or ICOs. That should tell you right away if it's a pump and dump. And then BitInfo Charts, I have a link to that as well. I'll be going over that. Got to keep track of what's going on with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. I'm mainly watching the hashing rate because it is making a difference. It's affecting the mempool and the confirmation times. So got to pay attention to that. I also added another link here for fees. It's called, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Johoes or Ho-Hos? I'm not sure. I'll go with Johoes, but Ho-Hos kind of sounds more fun. Johoe's mempool statistics. I'll go over that. I think there's some good information that you can derive from looking at that website. And then I have Transactions Accelerator. I don't think you need it now, but just in case, you know, the mempool, the Bitcoin mempool gets flooded again and the transaction fees start skyrocketing, Transaction Accelerator may be useful. Maybe it's a tool, you know. And then, of course, I have Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash Hashrate historical 6 months just for you guys. Just click on that. It goes to bitinfocharts.com. Okay, so now we're getting to the meat of the show. So these are the articles and stories that I'm going to cover. Bitcoin mining in China is not banned yet, contrary to reports. And so Crypto Coins News is by the same writer who wrote that Bitcoin mining was banned. Now he's writing another story, which is the complete opposite of the story he wrote yesterday. I'll just go over that just to make sure Bitcoin mining is not banned yet. So if Bitcoin mining is not banned yet, and I'm still calculating about a 13 to 10% hash rate still missing, where's it going? And if it's not going into this Bitcoin, what is it, BitcoinCashPlus, because BitcoinCashPlus is going to be EcoHash. BitcoinClashic is going to be also EcoHash, and they're both hard forking at a later date. Makes me wonder if SegWit 2x is still in play. So what is today? Today should be the 15th, but some places it's going to be the 16th. Well, we'll find out soon enough. All right, next is, oh, okay. Excuse my French. You didn't know I speak French, did you? It's the title of the article. Shit show to success. Bitcoin Gold's launch has been anything but smooth. This is coming from CoinDesk. I'll be going over that. And pretty much it's all the angst of Bitcoin Gold. And you could tell by the title, it's not going that great for Bitcoin Gold. It just goes to show that even though if you could hard fork Bitcoin, it doesn't mean it's going to be great. The development team wasn't that great. It was very, very unprofessional and just complete amateur of how it was done. Lack of preparation, the launch of mining. So far, it doesn't look good, but the price is still something. I think it's still over $100. I'm gonna have to check it. All right, and then after that is Bitcoin Cash futures now live. That's the blog from BitMix, and that's not the big story. The big story is in that blog is not the futures, not the Bitcoin Cash futures, which they will have Bitcoin Cash futures. The story is that they are going to dump all their Bitcoin Cash and give all their customers Bitcoins. That's the big story there. And I'll be talking about that, how you maybe some of the things you should do if you already have Bitcoin Cash to take advantage of that news. That's kind of already known now, but how can you play on that? How can you take advantage of that news, of that fact that Bitcoin Cash is going to be dumped by BitMEX? So, and then I'll go over Bitcoin can be hacked in 2027, Sydney scientists suggest. This is about quantum computing. You could tell by the meme, it has to do something with quantum computing today. I'll go over that a little bit. And also, speaking of quantum computing, I bet you didn't know Vitalik Buterin already works on conquering quantum computer hacks threat. I bet you didn't know that. These two stories, Bitcoin can be hacked in 2027, Sydney scientists suggest. That's coming from bitnewstoday.com. But in that same, that same website on the front page is another story. Vitalik Buterin already works on conquering quantum computer hacks threat. That's funny. There is a PDF to it from the scientist, the Sydney scientist. The PDF is titled "Quantum Attacks on Bitcoin and How to Protect Against Them." I'll go over that too. You know, I look for stories that are interesting because they have a potential to be a problem for me, or they give me an advantage. And I think this may be a little bit of both. It's definitely a problem if all this does come true, and it's also an advantage because if no one knows about it, maybe I can get me a quantum computer and start hacking everyone's coins away. And then of course I have a link to another, well, the original, the hard fork that was going to come up, Bitcoin 2x. Don't know what's going on with that. And then all the other stuff, the BitPico reply to the mailing list. And then, well, I got both in there for some reason. Mysterious Group, I still have that story in there. Mysterious Group, BitPico threatens to execute Bitcoin hard fork. And then the original reply from BitPico. Just to keep you updated. Eventually that'll go away if there is no SegWit 2x hard fork coming up. Still remains a 10 to 13% hash rate that's missing. Well, stay tuned for that one. And of course, I have my usual, why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why we have decided to distance ourselves? And if you haven't realized now BitConnect's a Ponzi, then you shouldn't invest your life savings into it if you haven't realized by now. And if you still haven't realized by now, and I'm going to give you a video to watch, it's James Bond Bitcoin Live 0017. There's a link for that where I talk to 3 bit connectors and 1, normal guest. Even the normal guest, Crypto Blood, admits that BitConnect is a Ponzi. Even after watching that, and you still want to invest into BitConnect, I would tell you to go ahead and put your life savings into it. What could go wrong? Anyways, I have also pot of gold. I have a link to the pot of gold meme, or the pot of gold artwork, I guess I can call it. Go ahead and donate to the pot of gold. I think it's still up to $50. I'll check if the unconfirmed transaction from Marty is still unconfirmed, and then we'll have fun with it. And there's the SegWit address to the pot of gold. There's a donational address there. Go ahead and donate. Donate a little, donate a lot, donate it all. We'll make it fun. And then I have the link to other YouTubers: RADIOACTIVE, Space Odyssey Network, Skive, Yes for Motivation, Bitcoin and Coffee, and the 21 Million Club. All right. Let's see who's all in the chat. Carlos, good to see you, Carlos. Doshness. I didn't know you were a Doshness. Dual overhead camness. Good to see you. Richie Rich, what's up? Bitcoin Super Cash Pro. Well, we'll be talking about that. Classic. Classic. I went to the website and they got Sean Connery on the front page. I mean, this whole Sean Connery thing with BitcoinClashic is getting too funny here. It actually might take off, ironically. Surgeon C, good to see you. Igor Gobbledin. Igor Goldubin. How you doing? Michael Davis, what's up? BitConnect. Oh, goodness. I got to stop saying that, really. All right. So anyways, let me go over the meme right here. Quantum Leap. Well, that's all I have to say. It's just Quantum Leap. I don't know if you know the original of this is a TV show where this. I was gonna say Alec Baldwin, but it's not Alec Baldwin. Is somebody else anyway. I do have a link. Do I not have a link to the? I thought I had a link in there for the video. I usually have a video in here. Did I not put it in here? Okay, no, I did. I skipped over it. Sorry about that. The video, there's a video theme for this video. It's called No, that's not it. Quantum Attacks. Where is it? Oh, I didn't. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, goodness. I forgot about I skipped over this. Quantum Leap, the longest leap, NBC Classic series. If anybody remembers the Quantum Leap series, I actually watched it when I was growing up. It's kind of funny, but it's a meme today now. So go ahead and watch that it's a good throwback. Oh, goodness. And this is hashtag Yes2X number 71, the meme for this one. Okay. Anyways, let's go over this. So, Quantum Leap. There you go. I'm going to talk about the quantum computing. I'm going to get into a little bit of detail on it, but let's just go over the stories first here. Right, so here is the pot of gold. Please donate. The QR code on the left with the arrow pointing to the pot of gold. That is the donational address. It is a SegWit address. Please donate and make it fun for everybody, because somebody's going to win this Bitcoin pot of gold. The QR code on the right side is an encrypted private key. You can scan it with your wallet and see if you can come up with the password. And if you do, all the Bitcoins in there are yours, all yours. I think there's about $50 worth now, maybe more, because the price went up. And then the QR code down in the middle bottom is if you use a regular barcode scanner, that will take you to Yellow Fever for You and his channel. He's the one that gave me this idea, so thank you, Yellow Fever for You. All right, so here is the actual amount that's in the Bitcoin pot of gold. 53 bucks. Great, it went up. Now yesterday, Yellow Fever donated, and it's gone through. It's confirmed. It was 100 satoshis, I believe. What is going on? They don't list the amount of satoshis in here. They keep changing it. Oh wow. Okay, they don't list the amount of satoshis, the fee size here. I'm gonna actually have to go and click into the details. Okay, so the fee size was 65 cents, 40 satoshis per byte. It is still unconfirmed. I'll be going over that. So I'm going to go over the fees, and I got some other graphs and websites to go over that with you. So okay, so I can just go ahead and close this out. We'll go over this one here. All right, so Bitcoin mining in China is not banned yet, contrary to reports. So if you read this, it seems like there were a lot of unconfirmed reports. Unconfirmed, yes, I said unconfirmed reports and rumors. And it turns out Bitcoin mining is not banned in China, despite what people may think or say. Not banned at all. And so they're still powering they're still getting power. They're still mining over there. I can't imagine they're not, but it's not confirmed yet. I guess you could say it's still unconfirmed, confirmed. So there you go. I just want to do a follow-up on that. Just make sure. So this writer, the author of this story, kind of went back on what his previous story was. Hey, Marty Wilkinson. No, you're not much of a cheap. You're not a cheap bastard. You put the right fee in there. It's just the way the system works. People have to understand that. And you know what? I'm not in a hurry, so that's the thing about it. All right, so here's the next one. This is coming from CoinDesk. Shit show to success. Bitcoin Gold's launch has been anything but smooth. Oh boy. Comedy gold, everyone. Comedy gold. A very rocky start. The miners aren't too happy. One of the pools, pool.gold, was definitely attacked. They were getting a denial of service attack right off the bat. A lot of complaining. But despite that, apparently the developers will not be dumping their coins, quote unquote, the coins that they get, at least the one that are locked up in the time-locked address, supposedly. But they still are going to get about 40%, which I think 5% of it they're going to get. And I calculated that. For 6 people, for the amount of Bitcoin golds that the developers are going to get, it actually equals out to be $100,000 each. So I know they're going to dump some of it, and then the rest of it they're going to give out to the community, and then the other 60 is locked up in a time-locked address. So, but apparently the chain did split, and a lot of miners were mining on, unfortunately, an orphan chain. I think they're going to try to take some of that pre-mine and give it to the miners. So they're trying to buy your love, and go ahead, let them. I would say let them buy it. You know, they got to give back to the community. It's really important if you're going to be forking off of Bitcoin and you're going to be doing all these things. the money that you make, especially if you pre-mined, you should give a lot of that back to the community. In my opinion, you shouldn't even pre-mine at all. If you really believe in the project, you should literally just go ahead and just develop the source code, mine it just like everybody else, and that's really the best way to give back to the community, and the community will give back to you. They will donate their time in the source code. They will donate their time in mining. There's incentives, at least on the mining side, if you don't pre-mine. And if I do believe that the contribution that developers make to a project depends on how I think the community as a whole views the reasoning for your coin to begin with. And so I think that's a really important lesson to learn. So hopefully these future forks, they'll pay attention to Bitcoin Gold and how it was created, and learn from that. Let me see the rest, if there's anything in here. Yeah. Yeah, looks like they will have Ledger and Trezor added. They're trying to get Ledger and Trezor added to this. So hopefully, they're probably going to have to pay them to put it on there. But hopefully, future forks will learn from this fork. And there may be a lot of forks coming up. Okay, so here we got BitMEX. So Bitcoin Cash futures now live. So that's not the big story. The big story is right here. Right here. BitMEX Bitcoin Cash holdings. The amount of Bitcoin Cash a user is entitled to is determined by their margin balance at August 2017. A few seconds after block 478588, users will not receive Bitcoin Cash. Rather, BitMEX will sell all users Bitcoin Cash and credit their wallet with Bitcoin proceeds. So that's the big news here. And I'll check the Bitcoin Cash price. I'm sure it's going down. If I was going to play this, which I'm not going to play this, okay? I don't intend to split my Bitcoin Cash from my HODL wallet. And maybe on my trading wallet, after I trade all my Bitcoins out of it, there won't be anything left but Bitcoin Cash and probably Bitcoin Gold and maybe BitcoinPlus and BitcoinClashic, and maybe SegWit 2x coins. I don't know. All these potential forks coming up here. Maybe I'll trade on those, but if I was going to act on this right now, I would take all my Bitcoin Cash and I would dump them right now. This is probably the highest price you're going to get right now. If not, if you didn't already sell it when it was over $2,500, when you're getting like literally 0.25. I think at some point you were getting a 0.25 Bitcoin for it. That was the best time to actually dump your Bitcoin Cash. And that was the best time. But if you haven't already, dumping it right now would probably be the best time and a really good idea, because once December, let me see, when are they going to do this? On or before December 31st. So they're going to do that on or before December 31st. And not only that, I think Coinbase in January are going to release all their Bitcoin Cash to their users. So that's even more Bitcoin Cash supply. So yeah, Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at the chat now, and Bitcoin Meister is a B cash pumper or what? No, I think he was a B gold pumper. I agree with Surgency. He was a B gold. He was definitely a B gold pumper. So yeah, somebody had to pump it, and I don't think it would be anybody else. But this is a big story from BitMEX here. So there's that. Let me see what other. I'm gonna go through all this. All right, so here it is. Okay, so this is Bit News Today. How you doing, Chase that coin? And of course, I'm going to go over the fees. I'll be going over the mempool, and then I'll also be doing a chart analysis at the end. I think the price went up really well today. I'll be doing a chart analysis at the end here. Okay, Bitcoin can be hacked in 2027, Sydney scientists suggest. And so, how true is this? It's definitely possible. I've read the actual PDF file. I'll go over that shortly. I thought this is an interesting story. I've always heard about quantum computing. I had to do some research on what it is, and basically, quantum computing is nothing more than just a better, faster thinking, processing computer. It could probably do 4 times more computing than the classic computers that are out today. Concept is very simple to I have here. Like, I don't know if you know what this little symbol, this diagram in the middle is right here. But that diagram in the middle there is a diagram representation of a qubit. Yes, I said qubit. And so if you don't know what a qubit is, Qubit was that game, that arcade game from the 80s. That was Qubit too, but Qubit in this sense is basically the representation of, how can I say, ones and zeros. So in quantum computing, a qubit can represent both a 1 and a 0 at the same time. Amazing. With traditional computers or classic computers, they only represent 1 or a 0 at that moment in time. And so if you just take like a 1 and a 0, the possibilities of 2 digits, 1, 0, in quantum computing, there's 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, and 1, 1. So what is that? That's 4 or 5 possibilities that it can compute at the same time. So with classic computing, you can only do 0, 0, only that one time, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, so it has to go through that each time instead of all at once. That's my layman's thinking of it. So that's what this diagram here is. It's a qubit. Instead of a bit, it's a quantum bit, qubit. I guess so. So anyways, very interesting reading. Let me go on to the next article, because look, right here, they have this thing set up right here. Let me go on to the next article, because this is also coming from Bit News Today. And actually, let me take a look at the live chat here. Michael Davis says, too bad Meister is with WCN. They should enlist you. I don't know about that. Hey, K Archie, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. I don't know about that. That means I have to be committed, and I might have to compromise my integrity in order to be on any of those shows. Okay, James Bond, Igor Goldbon said, it's a very different architecture. Yeah, it might be. I'm not a computer genius or an expert on this. So I'm just trying to read about it and understand it, and that's how I understand it for the most part. That's how I read it, and that's how I understand it, and that's how I learned it. You know, I guess if I gave myself like a dedicated 24 hours, 7 days a week time into quantum mechanics and quantum computing and computer science, I could probably be an expert in maybe like maybe about a year. Or if I went to a formal education, it would take me 4 years. But I just don't have that much interest at this time. I have enough interest. I have enough interest to the point to learn about it, the basics, the concepts, but not enough to really get involved. Anyways, I'm looking at this, and the same article or the same website, Bit News Today, it says here, Vitalik Buterin already works on countering quantum computer hacks and threats. Isn't that convenient? I mean, the Vitalik is already working on this. So I found that interesting. Go ahead and read it. I don't know how much he's really working on it, considering it's Equihash that Ethereum is running on. And Equihash is somewhat quantum computer resistant, somewhat. So anyways, just a little thing I noticed on this website. Let me go over the actual PDF file here. It says quantum attacks on Bitcoin and how to protect against them. And as I was reading it, it is a little tough to read and to digest. Because there are a lot of things you have to know. You have to know apparently a lot of math, some quantum mechanics, and some computer science. But besides that, if you could just read through it, what I learned is there's possibilities in the future that there could be attacks using quantum computers. One of them is actually rewriting, if possible, rewriting the whole blockchain. So if quantum computers are fast enough and they're able to process more information, it could be possible that they could rewrite the whole blockchain. It's very hard. Another attack vector that I noticed when I was reading this is they can actually prevent a mining pool from receiving their block rewards. A quantum computer could possibly, in the future, attack a pool, and that pool will never receive a reward. They would be doing the work, and then the quantum computers attacking that pool would could possibly literally rewrite the block that they found, or they could steal the block or prevent the block from broadcasting. It's kind of interesting. Another attack that I found interesting, possible attack, is that your signatures can be hacked. And so with your private or with your public key, so someone gets the raw transactions, and they're able from the raw transaction and your public key can derive a private key. And that's probably more likely than actual changing the block or the blockchain itself. That's probably more likely. And some of the ways they can do that is while your transaction is unconfirmed, while it's in the mempool and it's not in the block itself, and that's been added to the blockchain, during that time of unconfirmation or unconfirmed transaction time, which is typically average about 10 minutes, possible in the future, quantum computers can basically take your transactions, make another transaction with a higher fee, knowing your private key as well, and have that transaction sent to a different address. And not only that, but also crack your private key as well and take the rest of your Bitcoin during that time of unconfirmed transaction time, the 10-minute window. So there are possible, from what I've read and my understanding. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a quantum mechanic engineer of any kind, but I do have an interest in things that will possibly be a problem for me in the future. So I will take an interest in it and research and understand it as much as possible. But if anything, if I could do some research and also give me an advantage, it's worth researching as well. Well, the problem is the quantum computers today can barely do anything. Barely. It's so much money. Although I know Google is working on it, but anyways, let's go on and move on here. Let's see what else I have here. Oh, sorry for the bright screen here. Okay, so this is Johoe's mempool statistics, or Johoe's mempool statistics. So what you're looking at is a Bitcoin blockchain. This is unconfirmed transactions in the mempool right now. Let me actually try to refresh it and see what it does. It may take a while. Hey, Olav Husky. Welcome to the channel. All right, so this is the what you're looking at here, and I want to share this with you. This is in the notes section. There's a link to it. I think it's great if you want a visual representation. I know like bitcoinfees.earn has a bar, and you can kind of look at it that way. This is a different way of looking at it. This is a graphical way. So it's a different visual representation of the unconfirmed transaction count in the mempool. And you can see here that it's, and as you hover over it, it gives you the transactions, the count on that time frame. So if I just hover all the way over to the right, which is right now, currently, November 16th, there is, most of the transaction is at 60 Satoshis. So if you did a transaction around 60 Satoshis, the mempool is working on that part of the mempool. Or how can I say, the miners are starting to eat into that portion of the mempool where 60, if you send a transaction for 60 Satoshis per byte, it's working on that layer. So as you're looking at it here, you can see that, let me see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. They go in increments of 10. So if I come here, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 40 to 50 Satoshis per byte. It's literally working on that area right there where there's 40 to 50 Satoshis per byte per transaction. If you set your fees that way, you could see that the transactions are starting to get added into the block right here. You can see it. See how it moves around. And so it's starting to be eaten up. So the transactions are getting done. Let me see how many transactions there are since it's eating. It says here a total of 53,000 transactions, but I'll check it out on block trades. So that's the transaction here. Oh, sorry for that drastic move. Here is the graphical representation of pending transaction fee in Bitcoin. What you're seeing here is the fees. How much in fees are there in Satoshis? and you can see that the fees are mostly up on top, and it gives you an actual amount in fees. So the largest areas in fees are actually down at the bottom, but they're also the most in quantity as well. So you have to eat through a lot of them. So this is just a different representation of it, and it's quite different. Now the bottom here, this is quite a different representation here. So this is the fee size, the mempool size in megabytes. So every transaction, the smallest they can probably be is about 190, and that's one input, one output. That's probably the smallest byte size you can get them. Now, if they're typically one output, two inputs, that's about 226. Now, if you have like a lot of transactions that only do a 0 to 5 satoshis per byte, and there's a flood of them, well, they still take up, it doesn't matter, it still takes up a minimum of, let's just 226. Let's just say 226 bytes. But if you have like a million of them, they take up a lot of memory. Now, the same transactions for 5 to 10, they pay more in fees, but you could see that they still take up a lot of memory. So the more there are, the bigger the memory is. And you can see on the top portion, like up here on the top right here, you can see that, oh, DD8209, good to see you. You can see that the actual transactions that people do that are really transacting, those are actually real people that are actually trying to transact. And you could kind of see that. And you can see it's really small right now, so it's being eaten up. These, I mean, you could conclude, I mean, it doesn't mean that they're spam transactions, but you can kind of see that there's a lot of these low fee transactions, very small satoshis. And I do them too. I'm guilty. But you can tell they take up the same amount of memory, the same amount of bytes, whether the fees are low or the fees are high. And so it's just different representation on a graph. But right now, I'm happy to see this right here, because it looks like it is eating into the 40 to 50 Satoshi per byte fees. It's going to eventually work its way to the 30 to 40 Satoshi per byte fees. And so that's going to be good. Let's check out the fees now. Or let's check out the live. No, let's check out the fees. Well, I said I was going to check out the BitcoinCashPlus. Let's check out BitcoinCashPlus. Let's just check it out real quick. And I want to show you where it's... Now, here's the thing. It looks like if you have Bitcoin Cash, you're going to get Bitcoin Cash Plus. That's actually not the case here. And it looks like they're going to... the main net launch is going to be January 2nd. So that's also the same time, ironically, around the same time, Bitcoin Cash is going to be released to Coinbase users and probably a lot of other exchanges. They're going to start releasing them to their users. Perfect timing, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But here it is. Okay. All right, so here's the question. If I own Bitcoin, do I automatically own Bitcoin Cash Plus too? Anyone who held Bitcoin at the time Bitcoin Cash Plus was created becomes owners of Bitcoin Cash Plus. this means that Bitcoin holders, as of block 501407, about January 2nd, 2018, have the same amount of Bitcoin Cash Plus as they had Bitcoin at that time. If your Bitcoins are stored by a third party, such as an exchange, then you must inquire with them about your Bitcoin Cash Plus. So if you hold Bitcoin, that's very important. If you hold Bitcoin, that's how you're going to get Bitcoin Cash Plus, not Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin Cash is, if you hold Bitcoin Cash, you're not going to get any Bitcoin Cash Plus. So that's something you should know right away. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are confused. Dual overhead Camness says, dude, James Bond, Bcash Plus is the real Bcash because I said so. Okay. All right. If you say so, I'm okay with that. But just to let you know, if you have to have Bitcoin to get Bitcoin Cash Plus. All right. And then the other thing is, I think they're going to go to, let me see, what is the algorithm? They're going to actually change the algorithm as well. Let me see here. I thought I read somewhere they're going to go to Equihash. I'm trying to look for it. Okay, it doesn't. I can't find it right now. Okay, let me see. Okay, right here. Here it is. So Bitcoin Cash Plus decentralizes mining by adopting a proof of work algorithm, Equihash, which cannot be run faster on any specialty equipment used for Bitcoin mining, ASIC miners. So they are going to go to Equihash. So this is more competition for Bitcoin Gold. So there you go. So this is Bitcoin Cash Plus. All right. So that's not it. Let's go to BitcoinClashic. All right. So here we are. So here's BitcoinClashic. Oh goodness, this is hilarious. So there's Sean Connery on the front page. And it almost reads almost the same. It's almost like they just copy and pasted the same website. I don't know who these people are, but pretty much it's the same thing. They got an emergency difficulty adjustment. It's almost like they took the same source code of Bcash and just took that. And then they also are going to, let's see if they're going to move to Equihash. Okay. I thought I read here somewhere they're going to move to Equihash, but here's the other thing here. All Bitcoin holders as of block 478558 are also owners of BitcoinClashic. So this is, I think this has already happened. I think we're past, I think, I'm not sure if, I have to check, but I think that block number, we're already past that block height. And so you may already own BitcoinClashic based on how many Bitcoins you own right now, which is really funny. So we are all welcome to join the BitcoinClashic community as we move forward in creating sound money accessible to the whole world. So, okay, all right. A lot of people have their vision of what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted Bitcoin to be. So I'm trying to see if I can find the mining algorithm here. Let me see. See, it's almost the same, reads the same, does the same. Okay. I don't see where they said they're going to change their algorithm here right off the bat. Let me see which development team. They got and they have a nice little meme on the bottom too. Isn't that nice? Ticker symbol BCHC for BitcoinClashic. I think Bitcoin Plus will be BCP. So there you go. Let me read the meme. My one true vision is BitcoinClashic. Gosh. So I don't see the algorithm they're going to change to, or if they're going to change it to. I thought maybe this was also going to be Equihash, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. I don't see anything in here. So I don't know the algorithm for this one, for BitcoinClashic. So go figure that one out. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Good to see you. And Crypto Nutter, what's up? I just saw you guys in the live chat. Good to see you guys. So basically, when you know Bitcoin Cash, you should probably go ahead and dump those. And as soon as these comes out, you should probably dump these as well. But I don't know, maybe not. But please keep in mind, Bitcoin Classic. I'm sorry, Bitcoin Classic or Bitcoin Plus. You have to have Bitcoin to get these. So it's just another airdrop for Bitcoin holders. Just remember that you have to have Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold, but regular Bitcoin to get both of these. So, all right, now let's go on to Bitcoin fees. All right, so bitcoinfees.earn.com. So we'll take a look at the fees this way, and it looks like as the other Mempool statistic is showing that 30 to 40%, not 30 to 40, 30 to 40 satoshis per bytes in this region right here is basically it's working on that portion of the mempool. So it's getting eaten down here pretty good. And so that's what's happening. And so it looks like I did do a transaction today, and I know from yesterday when Yellow Fever donated to the Bitcoin pot of gold, he used 100 satoshis per byte, and it seemed to at least take about maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes to get one confirmation. So I used 100 satoshis per byte. I end up using one input with 3 outputs. I'm sorry, one output with 3 inputs. So I had to send to 2 other addresses and then one to return back to the wallet. And I calculated 100 satoshis, and that was about 30,000 satoshis per the total fee was 30,000 satoshis. And I was wondering how long that was going to take, and I think it took 20 minutes. And so you know, doing 100, you could probably even do less. So from looking at these bars here, it's possible that you can do probably 60 to 100, and you can get it in within half an hour. and then anything beyond 100, and anything beyond 100 or more, you could probably get it in really fast because it does seem to be confirming. So the transactions are finally going through. It's just working on the lower fee transactions right now. Like to see what, wow. Some people were paying thousands of Satoshis. So right now, the cheapest, the fastest and cheapest transaction fee, and remember, this is a lagging average. This is lagging. And so this is what's been processed. It's 510 Satoshis per byte for a 226 bytes. And that is, comes out to be about 115,260 Satoshis. Now, I ended up doing a transaction today. It was 30,000 Satoshis. So it was almost 25, 70. It was pretty much 75% less than this. And I got that transaction into a block confirmed in 20 minutes. So I think if you go back down to 100, let's see. If you can see right here, most of the transactions are stuck right in these areas right here. So if you do 100, I think right here you do 100, you should be all right. You could probably do less than 100, maybe do 70. You're right. You're very close. Like anywhere from 50 to 60 Satoshis per byte, you're building on top of the 40 Satoshi area. And so you want to be a little bit above that. Make sure your transaction gets through. So, but like from here to here is a range in which you could play around. But 100 Satoshis per byte is, I've confirmed it. So that works. All right, so let's go to the mempool real quick. Let me see here. Let's go to trade block real quick. Trade block live. Wow. So we're down to 14,796 transactions in the mempool. That is incredible. That's let me go to 7 days here on the transactions. Per second. I'm not looking for per second. I'm looking for transactions per count. Wow, look at that. It is going down, is being eaten. I'm going to go over the hash rate here pretty soon and the block times before I go to the chart analysis. But I think it's safe to use a lower fee. So if your wallets are asking you for like $5, $6, $7, $10, they're probably off because they're averaging out the transactions that have already gone through, and you're going to be ending up you're going to be paying more than you should. So 100 Satoshis should get you into the blocks in 20 minutes. If you pay a little bit higher, like 200, then what are you paying? Like $4, $4 to $3 at 200 Satoshis per byte. That'll definitely go in. But you can see right here in the fee size that you're getting 500, you're getting 38 Satoshis per byte, 38 Satoshis, 200, 500, 100. I saw 98. So I saw a lot at 38 Satoshis per byte getting in, which makes me wonder about my transaction, why it's not going through. But anyways, I'm sure eventually it'll go through. So literally 2 days ago, the transactions in the mempool were at 100,000 transactions in the mempool. Now it's really coming down at 14,000, and hopefully it'll come down to close to 5,000 transactions in the mempool, and that way some of the transactions of the lower fees can start getting into the blocks. Igor Goldebin is asking me, do you think Bitcoin forks will replace or surpass ICO craze in 2018? Well, it looks like we are already. Bitcoin Cash was probably a good test run. Bitcoin Gold, not so much. It was done kind of poorly. I think people are willing to accept hard forks. I think people are willing to accept hard forks because, let me see here. People are willing to accept hard forks because they get free money. So, they get free money, and if it's done right with replay protection, it's not really considered like hard fork. It's just considered an altcoin in which, if you're a Bitcoin holder, you do end up getting money for it. You end up receiving some kind of benefit. There is a burden to wallet providers and exchanges. So I think it's going to all depend on how many wallet providers and how many wallet or exchanges are going to be willing to, do the work in order to facilitate an economy, a trade, an ecosystem for it. But I don't see a reason why not. Wallets are adding multi-currency crypto coins all the time. They're adding ICO tokens all the time. And so if they're willing to put the work into doing that, they'll probably be willing to put the work to adding Bitcoin hard forks and splits and everything, because there's going to be a demand. Most of the ecosystem are Bitcoin holders. There's a lot of Bitcoin holders out there, or people that have Bitcoin, than probably any other coin out there. And then on top of that, Bitcoin's probably the most liquid. And so there's probably a sense that there's more Bitcoin people who have Bitcoin than probably any other altcoin out there, in my opinion. So yeah, it's probably going to be happening. It's already happening. It does take a little bit of work though. So I think the community will accept the hard forks if it's done in a professional way. So replay protection. It doesn't disrupt Bitcoin. It doesn't take away from its hashing power. That's the other thing. I think if they fork off and become competition for SHA-256 hashing power, then I think it'll be considered very hostile. If they fork off and become like Equihash, which I know Zcash, and I don't know what Ethereum uses, what algorithm they use, but I think they may use some kind of Equihash as well, maybe. But they're competing against GPU mining rigs. And so anything that competes with an altcoin, I'm pretty sure any Bitcoiner will be okay with the hard fork. That's my feeling. I'm okay with it as well. What I've noticed is that it takes money away from the altcoins, and people buy into Bitcoin to get the fork of, Bitcoin Plus, BitcoinClashic, SegWit 2x, and so there seems to be some benefit to the Bitcoin holder of having these hard forks. Ironically, as much as I don't like them, I think they really take away from Bitcoin. But the short-term effects is that these hard forks have boosted the price of Bitcoin, have also reduced the price of all the other, altcoins out there, and even the ICOs. So yeah, I think hard forks are going to be the newest rage. Matter of fact, I said that in the interview on CrushTheStreet, that hard forks will become the new thing. And also the looming like SEC and regulations coming into the market. The CFTC can also come into the market as well and regulate all these altcoins. So it's not like Bitcoin's immune in any way, but the fact that ICOs are now going to be, there's going to be two types of ICOs. There's going to be like a charity ICO where you're just donating your money and you're getting a token appreciation, which you may or may not be able to use on their platform that they're supposedly going to build. And the first, well, I should have said this first. There's going to be an exit ICO. So there's only two types of ICOs you're going to get: exit ICOs and then charity ICOs. And the exit ICOs are going to be promising you all sorts of stuff, like returns of 1% a day, 50%, whatever. You'll have ownership in probably casinos. They're going to be like casino ICOs, most likely. Something that you wouldn't normally get in a regulated market, like at all. Nothing at all. Just some wild promises. And basically, they're going to take your Ethereum, probably, or Waves, or whatever platform they use, and they're going to basically dump the project onto the community and leave. And that's about it. Yeah, I definitely think forks are going to be the rage. And so that's just the way it is. The good news, there may be some good out of it. I mean, we're going to definitely get many, 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 many different implementations of Bitcoin. And it'll be interesting to see if any of them actually have anything useful or anything unique to the project, or what the community does that's different than what's already being done. They could just be test and maybe even take over Bitcoin, perhaps, maybe. I can't positively say they will or won't. In the interview I had in CrushTheStreet, I did say that the only thing that can take over Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's probably going to be a fork of Bitcoin, most likely. So, all right, so let me take a look at the hash rate right here. And thanks for asking that question. So let's have a look at the most recent hash rate right now. And let's see, I want to make sure that I'm still streaming with you guys. Okay. So I'm looking at the hash rate because I noticed that if I look at the peak of November 8th, let me see here, November 8th, there should be 12.3 for a total of 12.3 for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. There should be a total of that. Now I'm getting right here on today. The hash rate has gone up total. It's 10.7, 10.8, but that's a difference between 12.2. So there's literally like anywhere from looks like 13 to 10% of the hash rate missing. So now that we can debunk the whole China is banning Bitcoin mining, so we know that's not true, 100% true. It's a little misleading. Where is that extra 10 to 13% hash rate? And these forks that are coming up, whether it be Bitcoin Silver, Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Uranium, they're mostly going to Equihash. So they're not competing for the SHA-256. So not competing against Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Plus, I believe, is going to Equihash, and BitcoinClashic is going to echo hash. The only thing that was going to be competing with SHA-256 hash rate was SegWit 2x. So I'm still wondering if SegWit 2x is still a possibility here. A small one, but possibility. You change the implement an EDA to it, do replay protection, and voila, you've got another fork of Bitcoin, a small miner hash rate going into it, and it could start out that way, and eventually can possibly in the future start growing from that. So crypto Nodder says the problem with forks to me is that it is like the Fed printing money, and it waters down the value of the coin it forks from, and waters down the value and shows and slows down adoption. Yeah, but that is true. I do feel that way as well, but you can't stop anybody from forking. If they have the money and the resources and the time to do so, they can. And it looks like that's what we're seeing with all these Bitcoin forks coming on. And so the next time you see a coin market cap, they're all going to be Bitcoin, ironically. So let me go on to a little bit more on this. I did want to show the difficulty in the hash rate. This just readjusted. And so the Bitcoin Cash difficulty has already lowered. Bitcoin takes 216 blocks to readjust. And so I think there'll be some time before the next difficulty adjustment. But Bitcoin Cash with their new DDA difficulty, I don't know what's the distributed difficulty adjustment. I don't know what it stands for anymore. But apparently they've already adjusted, and their difficulty is already lower. So hopefully that won't take away. Hopefully that won't take away the hashing power from Bitcoin. Let me see. I'll take a look at the mining profitability as well. And this is interesting. This says yesterday they were almost the same, 1.5. Today they're, let me get this over here. Okay, today Bitcoin's mining profitability is 1.9, almost 2, and Bitcoin Cash is 1.7. And for the most part, that's also a little misleading, because there's probably better fees on Bitcoin Cash. You can probably get a lot more rewards in the fees. And so the mining profitability is probably much higher on Bitcoin. So that's different as well. Let's see the average transaction fee. Now this is the biggest, this is really different here. You'll see the transaction fee is average transaction fee is $13 on Bitcoin. So that's why mining Bitcoin transaction is more rewarding, because not only do you get more profit out of it, but you also get the fees. So that's a huge difference. Look at Bitcoin Cash. It's like nothing, because the price is nothing. And then let's have a look at the block time. And eventually I'll get to a chart analysis at the end here. Sorry if this is taking too long. Just making sure I'm still live. Okay, so the block times. All right, so Bitcoin's block time has reduced to under 10 minutes today, or the rest of what was today. And then the Bitcoin Cash, because of their difficulty adjustment downwards, has also reduced to about 8.5 minutes. So you had 9.4 minutes with Bitcoin, 8.5 with Bitcoin Cash. So even with the new hard fork and difficulty adjustment that Bitcoin Cash has, I think it's still having problems with trying to keep up with Bitcoin. The block times may be the same or very similar, but the difficulty is just all over the place. And also, not only that, I'm going to go to transactions here, but they still are nowhere near the transactions. So you can see right here that, let me see here, get as close as I can. All right, there. So Bitcoin's transaction has gone up. It's within the range. The range is from 200,000 to 350,000 per transaction, and I think that that's the limit right there. I don't know if it can go up any higher. At current 1 meg blocks, that's about what it can do, anywhere from 200 to 350,000 transactions in the blocks per day. Now, if they go over the 1 meg limit, because of SegWit has been implemented, I think you can probably get more transactions, and that hopefully that should make a difference. I mean, I don't think we should be at 14,000 transactions when you can go over those block size limits. And so, but if you look at Bitcoin Cash, I mean, if this is just a data, okay, I'm not feeling, I'm not going on any emotion here. You can clearly see that Bitcoin Cash does not have many transactions at all, and here's their block size. So you saw the amount of transactions. You could see the block size that they have, and they have up to 8 meg blocks, and here's the block size that they're using. So Bitcoin is very consistent. It never goes beyond the 1 meg, although I wish it would, because SegWit allows miners to go above the 1 meg limit. But you see here that Bitcoin Cash only goes to 83K. That's today. That's kind of what they've done. So they're way, way, way behind. And if you look, they've never gone over one meg except for twice, which was at this point right here, and then here. So there's not a lot of people using Bitcoin Cash, and their price is most likely going to fall. So if you do have Bitcoin Cash, this is probably an opportune time to really cash out of your Bitcoin Cash and get something else, either fiat or get more Bitcoin, because when it comes December 31st, as the closer you get to that time, the less valuable your Bitcoin Cash is going to be worth. It's going to be less and less and less. And plus, that's also the time when Coinbase is going to release Bitcoin Cash to all their users, which is going to flood the market. It's going to flood the market with Bitcoin Cash. So if you have any Bitcoin, that's what I would do. And I might do that if I could find an exchange that can let me trade. But I may not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really interested in Bitcoin Cash. I get all these other altcoins that are given to me, and I just put them in my Coinomi wallet, or I put them onto a paper wallet. I don't even know what to do with it. Going to an exchange and trading them is kind of a hassle. So, but that's my take on Bitcoin Cash. Let's see here. What's here? I just want to check if this has been. Nope. I'll refresh it. I want to see if it's gone through or not. Nope. This is still unconfirmed. That's all right. All right. So let me go to a chart analysis now. right, just giving it some time. Let's go to, let me go to my weekly. Make sure my settings are all right. These are this is basically how I have my settings. I'm going to change it to EMA for the moving average. That's the only thing I change. I reset everything. I'm going to add the RSI because I always use the RSI as a good indicator. Linear scale. I think everything else doesn't really matter, but those are the only things I change. I add RSI to it, and then I change the moving average to I think that means estimated moving average, but I'm not sure. All right, so that's what it looks like right now. Wow, looks good. Looks good now. Hopefully my video will not cut out and you can see the rest of it. All right. All right, so let's take a look at this and see what happens. Wow. All right, that looks really, really good. I'm glad to see that the price has gone over this line, this upper trend line right here. Let me put in some other lines just in case this candle reverses, which it might, because you never know. There we go. And then I'm going to put this line right here as a resistance. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so this is the 1 hour. I need to zoom back. Wow, that 1 hour is looking good. I don't see any issues with it or any problems. Let me see. I'm just trying to get where it goes here. So just to give you a reference point of where it is right now. So the high has hit up here, and you can see that several times here and here. So that if that's where we are, that's not bad after coming off of this drastic dip here. When I look on the hourly, the RSI is going down, but the price is not going down, which is good to me. I think that's a very good indicator that it's not going to just crash or drop out of nowhere. This right here, where is this? 68.50, somewhere around here, 68.50. That's where this trend line is. Sorry. So that's where this trend line is right here. This is the top channel trend line. And that's kind of where it is. I'm just hovering my mouse over it. It's 58.60. So that could be a good support. It should be, just look out after that price range to see if it gets to that level or if it bounces from there. Let me see here. Let me go to 12 hours now and take a look at the 12 hour. Wow, the 12 hour looks great. You see the two average lines here cross over, and so it's going up. It's above this trend line right here. The two averages has crossed over, pointing up. The shorter term has moved above the longer term moving average. That's awesome. There is a little gap right here, but if it bounces off of this trend line and the average here, they're both here. I think there might be some good support around that area. And then let me go to a daily. So daily has never crossed downwards. The two moving average has never crossed over downwards. And so I don't see any issues here. It still looks like it's bullish, but again, you never know. The price does have to go above the all-time high. That's the only thing. The price has to go above the all-time high. Other than that, you know, possible support here at 68.50. Another possible support is this right here as well. Then 5,000, and then of course 3,000. And so you could, I don't know, do whatever you want. Put your moving or daily cost or dollar cost average way down. Let me see. Let me go up to the 3-day real quick. See what's happening. Well, 3-day looks really good too. It's a green candlestick right now. On top of that, it is above the shorter time frame moving average. It's moving up. If this is a new lower high, then so be it. But it does still have to make a higher high. That's the only thing. And then the moving average is in between lines here. And that moving average is at $5,200 right here. This moving average, $5,200. So let me go to the weekly, take a look at the weekly. Yeah, Olaf Husky, this thing's a beast. It really is. But let's see what happens. On the weekly, I mean, it looks really good considering what's happening. It's almost taken. It's almost overtaking everything, this red candlestick from this green candlestick right here. So it's moved back up. It just has to go make another higher high. That's all it has to do. Just make a higher high. So far, there on the weekly, there is no lower low really. Let me take out a lot of these lines now so you can see it. See right here, supposedly this is the new higher low, but overall, if you look at it, I don't really see a low. You know, you don't see something like this where there's a high, and then you could clearly see like a low right here. Same thing here. You can see a high, a low. This one, it's not so, you can't quite see this low right here. So you see the high here, which is on a red candlestick, ironically. But there is no like clear lower low or no higher low that I can see. So, you know, there on the weekly, there could be a chance. There could be a chance, you know, a higher low can still be made. It's just going to be coming back and forth here. That is possible, but right now, it just looks like it's going to go up. It just looks that way. There's no indication, or there's no confirmation, not even a halfway confirmation that it's going to go down, because I don't see a lower high. No, not a lower high, a higher low. I'm sorry. So I don't see a higher low here, and if it continues to go up, it's just going to go up. There's, you know, you can't fight the trend, you can't fight the market. Oh goodness, Igor. Igor, I don't know. I don't do the count. I don't do the, you know, why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. You know, I don't do those things. I try to keep my technical analysis really simple and really easy, and I just look for confirmations. And so so far there is no confirmation that the price is going to go down. And right now, if you just look at the RSI and you look at the price, it's telling me that the price is going to go up, because if you look at this RSI right here, if this is where it stops and it remains green, there could be a good chance that it remains green. And even though the RSI right here doesn't go to the top of this RSI, even though it only goes like halfway, the price will move higher. And that's the kind of situation we're in. We're in a momentum going up, and when you're in this momentum that goes up, the short gets squeezed. And here's the sad part. Here's the sad part about trading on exchanges, and a lot of them trade on margins or even just trading in general, is that the price is going to go down. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, and there's probably no doubt in your mind that this is overvalued, overinflated, and you're probably right. But what happens is the shorts get squeezed. Okay, you know who the losers are right now? The people who went short, who shorted the market. They're the losers. That's why the price is moving again. The price moves against you because the market wants to take your money. Okay, and this is the sad part when you trade on exchanges, is you may be right on your trade, and you most likely are, and you know that this price probably needs to come down to 5,000 or 4,000. If you look at here, I took out my lines, but there's another support right here, this longer term average at $4,000. You see, like 4,025, 4,000, 4,000, somewhere around there. There's this support as well. There may be a good chance that it'll go down this low, and you may be right, but your timing may be off, because if you trade and you're shorting the market, well, the market needs to make money from somebody, and if there's more people who are short than long, guess who's gonna be paying the price? The people who are short. You're going to be paying the price, and that's just the way the market works sometimes. And so until I get a sense that there are more people who are long in the market at a very inflated high price, then I think that's when you're going to see the market turn downwards. Okay, and that's just speaking from experience. When I've traded some other markets, it just does that. Remember, the market is there to take your money, and that's what it does. It doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care how much money you have. It doesn't even care how often you were right before this time. When it comes time for you to lose your money, you will lose your money. And so right now, the people who are short, they're losing. Okay, and most likely they're going to double down on their bets. I know they will. They'll say, okay, I was wrong, but I'm going to do it again. And they're going to keep doing it until they run out of money, or until they're almost out of money. And then they're going to go long. By then it's too late, because the price maybe it'll hit my target of $10,000. All right, maybe it'll hit that target price. By the time it goes that high, and they're almost out of their money from going short, they'll finally go long, and then they'll get the beating the other way. Then then the market will start crashing on them, and they'll start losing money that way. And that is the nature of the beast. It really is. So be careful when you trade, and just realize how the game is played. And whatever you do, try. I recommend, if you're speculating, you're gambling. If you're hedging against like a real world trade, like I'm trading a peer-to-peer, I'm hedging on these exchanges just to keep my profits, that's a different scenario. That's a use case. I'm using these exchanges, right? If you're speculating and you're just taking a bet whether the price goes up or the price goes down, you're going to lose. I'm pretty sure, because I've paid the price and I've learned the hard way. So anyways, I'll probably conclude this episode now. So unless anybody has any further questions, let me go to the meme here. So here you go, quantum leap, everyone. So all right, take the quantum leap. Take a leap of faith. And if don't fight the market. If the market tells you the price is doing one thing, you know, follow the trend. Don't fight the trend, because you will lose. The market will take your money. The market together has more money than one individual. And so you don't want to be the whale that gets everybody feeds off of. So anyways, enjoy this episode. I'd like to thank everybody in the live chat. Olgov Halski, Dulover Kamnis, Crypto Nodder, Igor Goldabin. Thank you for being in the chat. Surgeon C, thank you. And DD8209. Great to have you all here. And Brian, thanks for showing up. You know, appreciate every one of you being in here in the live stream here in the live chat. So I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to end this episode and conclude this episode. So feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment after the live stream, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye now.